Alrighty, what is up guys? Aldo here. Welcome back. Got a pretty big update for you guys right now on Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to talk about Solana a little bit because why not? You know, NASDAQ, silver, Apple stock as well. Just wanted to go through, a good overview of the market. Oh, and we got to talk about Treasury, obviously 30-year Treasury yields in the TLT because that's interesting right now as well. 8% 30-year mortgages for the first time in, 10,000 years. I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah, so smash the like button if you guys enjoy the content. Let's get right into it. So we'll start with the good stuff. I mean, the weekly, forgive the kind of, not too clean chart here, but the weekly, you got the gapped RSIs kind of coming down, which is the more bear case. But in terms of money flow, in terms of kind of this trigger wave, that looks good. The high time frames are really the main bullish case. I mean, even the monthly green dot, I mean, that may not confirm, it could roll over, but any green dot in the monthly, anywhere is going to usually give you something. You know what I mean? Two trend reversal signs on the 3-day, gapped RSIs coming up. Usually when these come together, that's kind of when it's over, but you got more potential. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe Evan the Bear is saying this, but it is possible to jump up to, 33K here or something like that. I don't know if it will happen. We'll keep an eye on this, but as we get to the lower time frames, that case kind of becomes less. We just got to keep an eye on this. Money flow kind of coming up here. I think we're obviously, regardless of what happens, Bitcoin dominance is probably going to keep going up here. So, it's a good idea to be pretty Bitcoin heavy, I would say. If we move on to the daily, you got the trigger wave to the upside, money flow kind of curving upward. You may get a bearish div relatively soon if that money flow comes down too, if price comes down a bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. It is a big area. This is where it gets more bearish because this is a big area with the spiral line pockets. So that is a good place where you could easily kind of reject from that 30K area. We rejected from there and came right back down. The other thing too is your 200 weekly. Let's just put that up quickly here because price doesn't care about it as much as it used to. But, historically it was always kind of a good, thing to look at. And it's right, we're above it. So if we keep that, that's the bullish case. So it is conflicting right now. It's conflicting. But that's always how it's going to there's always going to be a little bit of, lack of certainty. Same kind of bearish div that you could see kind of form here on the 12 hour, just like that. Same thing right there. Bear div came down. If you do the same thing, you can come back down to that area. If we look at some of the lower time frames here, you've been in the green a while on the money flow in the 6 hour. It kind of looks like you're due to come down a bit more. In terms of the price formation here, this is definitely not a bearish formation. It would be more of a bullish formation, but it could go either way. If it does break bullish, your technical target would be around probably 29.4 or something. So keep that in mind. VWAP coming up, trigger wave, on this point. But when you look at the hourly money flow coming out, when you look at the 45-minute money flow kind of coming out here, and then you may come down a bit more, maybe a bounce off at this point for a potential kind of long entry down here. That would be a big point, this volume area high from a little bit before. So yeah, I did have a pretty good short setup in the Aldo Empire Discord. If you guys are interested, a link down below. Got some good swing shorts on a few other things. Some altcoins too that are doing really, really well, and I have a high probability of thinking they're going to do well. Crypto Bull Zone, Atlanticor, KMEC, also excellent traders in there. So check it out, link down below if you guys are interested. And if we move on here, this formation so now we're getting into all the kind of when you're conflicted a lot. The best thing to do is not really obviously wait till things get a little bit better. Look at a different coin, find something else to trade that looks a little bit better. If you break upward, 28.5 from this kind of reverse head and shoulders somewhat forming here. So yeah, especially if you do break up this above the spiral line as well. Let's move on to Ethereum a little bit. Obviously, I believe keeps bleeding against Bitcoin. If we look at kind of the daily, VWAP coming down and money flow coming out on the weekly right there. Potential bull div, RSI is kind of coming together, and that kind of area right there. VWAP coming down, money flow to kind of get deeper there. And VWAP coming down on the daily. Trigger wave right there on the 12 hour. RSI is there. And then it's kind of coming out right there in the 3 hour. Money flow coming out. And then same thing on the hourly. So that could be, I mean, I'm already in an ETH short, but this could be potentially a good place to re-enter and try to, well, we could draw let's just draw kind of a fib level maybe from there to there. You are hitting a local point, but a short down to kind of 1540, I think is definitely a pretty good idea here. You got to be a little bit lenient with the stop loss. Potentially, I would go at least above kind of this area right there. Maybe not the best risk-reward ratio, but you got a good shot of coming down, potentially even coming down back to this trend line. Ethereum doesn't have the same like bullishness that Bitcoin has, and that may make the bullishness on Bitcoin that I talked about be kind of a fluke. So just keep that in mind. If we do move on to, I just want to look at ETH Bitcoin at the moment. This hobby keeps kind of keeps coming down, looking like it's trying to recover, but it could just roll over here. So this is kind of the reckoning, the real altcoin kind of reckoning, is these interest rates really keep rising up, and this could keep dropping down into potentially early next year. So looking at Bitcoin dominance, not going to spend a ton of time on it. I mean, look, you break up out of this area, it's on target 54. At the minimum, that's where I would be looking to kind of start getting into alts, to kind of where some alts could start to bottom against Bitcoin if we get up to around 54%. The other thing too is when TLT, when this bottoms out, which I think it probably will bottom out around this bull div on the monthly. If we hit this area too, around $83, you get that bull div on the monthly. That's where more liquidity starts to get printed. That's where quantitative easing kind of starts, and there's more money to go into altcoins. So that's a good indication of when you probably want to start to look. Well, not you, but me. Not financial advice, obviously, but me. When I'm going to start getting into alts, you could kind of see the inverse of that on the 30-year government bonds yield. Same thing right there. In the short term, I mean, you're hitting traffic on this, but you probably could break out of this formation, get to 5.3, 5.4, and then that's probably going to be it. We could be topping out here. It could be your triple top type thing. So yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at right there. It's kind of front page news how high these are right now. So I mean, they'll probably consolidate a bit if it does go higher. I mean, some people think these are going up to, God knows where, but I can't imagine this going much above 5.5 really. So yeah. If we move on to traditional markets a little bit, we'll talk about the NASDAQ. I mean, bearish on the monthly, red Heikin-Ashi candle, 13 days to confirm to the end of the month. Not looking really good anywhere here, just making lower highs. So that generally tells me you want to keep coming down. I think you would follow this pattern, potentially make a lower low. Potentially towards the end of the month here. So that's what we got to keep in mind on the NASDAQ right here. Apple stock as well, which is some news. iPhone sales aren't doing as well as normal. That's probably, we were kind of overdue for that for a while. Your monthly as well, red Heikin-Ashi. I'd be surprised if this, is able to keep coming back up and recover. I think this, could be a good kind of swing short. I know, they say never short Apple, but, I mean, it's always risk management. I think this looks pretty bearish. Silver is interesting, making a nice little comeback here, getting above a big point, coming back up to this area. The way this moves, I could potentially see this coming right back up to 24, 25. So keep that in mind. You may have some more upside potential for silver here. So, yeah. And yeah, that's that right now. And ultimately, that's all I got right now. Hope you guys got something out of the trade setups. If you want more info on some exclusive TA and trade setups and call outs and all that, check out the Aldo Empire Discord down below. If you guys want a good place to trade on, we are doing a really good promo. I negotiated with you guys with FAIRDESK. You get a $100 trading bonus plus a deposit bonus depending on how much you deposit. And if you do one futures trade with any amount, you're eligible for the $100 trading bonus. You got a really good shot of getting it. I mean, it's one person a week who signs with my link, so you got a really good shot. MEXC, same thing. You get a $100 trading bonus. You do have to deposit or at least $100 to be eligible for that. Both are excellent exchanges. All the exchanges down below are the main ones I use in this environment. So yeah, check it all out, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.